What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Shibui Anime Tavern, brought to you in part by Nova Circuit. I'm Jeff, and with me is the homie
Jason.
And today we're going to talk about episode 4 of Delicious in Dungeon. So this one I felt like had a little bit of a different kind of tone to it compared to the rest of them. Still great, by all means, still funny, still had lighthearted moments and stuff, but I felt like this one was a little bit different.
Yeah, not as much crazy action as we did the last one. I think the pace of it again slowed down a bit, but it felt, what am I trying to say? It felt like very soft. It was a weird word to use. It was just very I don't know. I mean, there was parts that were kind of slightly intense, but in the end, you never felt like the adventurers were ever in trouble, or there was really no panic. It was just almost.
I don't know. They were definitely in trouble a couple times. Them orcs wanted to smash them.
Well, I mean, besides
they
that,
realized he was with Senshi.
Senshi, yeah.
Senshi.
Yeah, but I mean, that moment wasn't even that long. You saw no panic at all from anybody, not even Senshi. When that part happened, I don't know. It just felt like almost felt like this was more of a filler style episode.
Sort of, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I get what you're saying, but it's hard to say with this kind of anime. I feel like any one of the episodes could be a filler episode in something else. You know what I mean? Not that it's bad. It's just kind of what the anime is.
Right, and this episode does its parts in kind of setting up, obviously, future episodes with them kind of teasing, Laos after he saves his sister. There might be a new goal for him. I think one of the orcs mentioned something about being king of the dungeons or something like that, or ruler of them or something. So that's something to look into, because I guess it's the thing that humans are always known to go after. So, but yeah,
that's mainly their reasons for being in the dungeon, to try to accomplish becoming or slaying the mage guy.
Right. Oh yeah, the old mage. Yep. That they mentioned in the beginning, the first ever episode. I was like, when the hell was this part all about? But now it's starting together a little bit. But the episode starts out pretty good too. You kind of see more of Laos's skills, because they're sitting in the dungeon and they can hear. He's very good at telling the difference between footsteps. He's oh, those are humans, or those are zombies, or whatever. And he is very good. And even I know this is a small minor detail, but she is my favorite character. But Marcille had a new hairdo a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that.
She did. Yeah. Yes, I did.
But it was weird that I noticed that. But but she was just man, how can you tell? And he's they just distinctly walk different. You can just kind of tell. And that was kind of cool that you're seeing more to Laos's skill set. Helps him find the next part of the episode, the golems.
Yes. So kind of right after that, Senshi takes us to his his house, or not his house, but his
place of living while he's in the dungeon.
Place of living in the dungeon.
Much.
He kind of takes his crew there. Yeah, so he takes a crew there, and just, it's not much. They just kind of look around a little bit, and then he explains that he has 2 other places on the 3rd and 4th floors, maybe something lower. So then, he's talking to them about golems, or actually he mentions about Laos says there's golems down this one path, so they don't take it. And he mentions, oh no, we need to go that way. There's something I need to get off of them. And turns out, I actually really liked this part. I thought it was really cool and unique. They're farming on top of the golems.
Right.
He takes this magic core out of them to kind of, disable them. And then he plants crops on them. And then he, harvests them. He tills them. He does all that stuff.
Because he even mentions the golems do all the hard work for him. They have to stay moisturized and wet, so they always have the perfect amount of water on their bodies. They're 99% dirt, so
right. We don't know what that other 1% is, though. It's important.
Yeah. So but they do all the crop stuff basically themselves, just basically taking care of their own selves. So Senshi's like, do they do all the hard work for you? And I just take him down because he knows how to do it easily, and by taking those little totem things or whatever out of him, which are like the controllers of him, and then he just gets his crops, and he gets like he gets so much of it that he used to like go down to the market and sell like the excess stuff that he wasn't cooking, which was kind of funny because he's like, they're like, oh, you just left it down there? He's like, it's an honor system. He's like, they put the money in the chest, and they're like, that's why there was always money in that chest.
Right, they keep taking his money.
Yeah, they were the ones taking his money. So that was kind of funny, but
that was funny.
Yeah, you're right. That was a pretty cool episode because it just kind of shows like I already knew Senshi was pretty smart guy, the way he understands the dungeons and all that stuff, and understands like the different creatures because he makes them into cuisines. But to like turn a monster in the dungeon into something like agricultural like that, and being smart enough to do something like that's super cool and unique, because he was making real fresh vegetables. Like, it was the one time when they made the food, Marcille wasn't like, ew, gross.
Yeah, she wasn't grossed out.
Yeah, she's a vegaholic, so she just loves veggies, and they were cooked so well, and it was something like not like disgusting, or not a goblin or spider or weird shit that they eat in the dungeon. So it was really cool. I like that they kind of added like the sciencey part to it too. I
thought it was pretty creative. I thought it was a nice touch.
It was.
So after that, they all of them kind of take care of the golems and stuff, tend to them and harvest the vegetables, and they eat. He makes some kind of I don't know if it's lettuce or cabbage. I think
it was like hot. It was cabbage.
Yeah, so he makes like a dish with that, and they use the last of their bacon that they have, and then they go to like I guess it's like an inn type thing,
right?
Or like a bar or tavern or something. And Shinsi's like he's waiting for these people to show up, like the people he normally sells to.
Yep. And
they turn out to be orcs.
Yeah.
And the orcs come in and just start slaying everyody in this place.
Which orcs do, by the way.
Yeah, so. No, that's what they do. They pillage, and like it's all about the tribe.
Yep.
Which they hold true to.
Yes, they do.
So the crew is kind of just sitting there like, oh shit, we're gonna die, or we're gonna have to fight these orcs. And Shinsi is just, nothing, no expression, no nothing. Nope. And then he like greets the orc greets him. He's like, I forget what he says exactly. It's kind of like, oh, I didn't think you'd be here.
Right. But you understand why like Senshi was never in a panic the whole time during the whole attack. He kind of just knows the orc. Those are his customers.
The orc leader demands like all their food.
Yeah, instead of paying for it this time, he can't at the time. So he's just like, we kind of want this stuff for free. And Senshi's like, what? Because even the orc guy was like, I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm sorry, but like, I ain't got no gold, dude.
Right.
We're gonna need we're gonna have to just like take this from you. And that's when Senshi works out a deal to basically be their captives.
So he decides to go back to their, not their village, because that's not what it is right now. They got kind of thrown out of their village by the red dragon that they're looking for, actually.
Yep. It's kind of a base setup, kind of like Senshi's.
Yeah.
Like just an area for their tribe.
Yeah. I think theirs is probably a little more makeshift, though, just because they kind of had to move everybody very quickly to avoid this dragon.
Yep.
But so they take them back there, and then they lock them in like a baby cage with chickens. It's just like, that's the only thing I think of. I was like, man, this looks like Rugrats.
And you find out Marcille can't keep her mouth shut.
About anything.
Obviously, in every other story, lores, anything like that, orcs and elves just don't get along.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
So yeah, Marcille just popping off, and I like how
she kind of starts off like slyly at first, kind of just saying it under her breath, sort of, and then it escalates.
Oh yeah, where she just can't anymore. And like I said, I love when Senshi pops up every once in a while during like a tense moment of the argument, like, oh, looks like we need to get the eggs ready or something like that.
Yeah,
just
right.
To like keep the mood down.
So the orc guy kind of starts cooking with them, and they're like mixing the dough and slamming it, and then they like get tired and shit, and Senshi is, you know, like, oh, we need to do this, try to, you know, chill them out.
Right. Because the orc's child is coming up and like asking questions too, and the orc's like telling this child stories about how the elves and the humans always mistreated him and always attacked him and tried to get him out, and then that's, of course, Marcel couldn't keep her mouth shut.
She's like, no,
yeah, no, you guys were doing it. You guys aren't so innocent either, and just so basically that's all Marcel and the orc. I mean, they, like I said, when you said earlier, they were making bread together while arguing. They were like slamming it in the pan, you know, mixing it, listening to Senshi, but they were also just clapping back at each other. But they get to the part where they actually make the bread. I'm not gonna lie, it looked good. It's like, holy shit.
It did look good. The rest of the orcs kind of make stuff to go with it, and they like eat as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, you know, chills tempers and stuff, and they get along better. Then Laos talks to the orc again, because initially he asked him, you know, are you here to go and fight the mage, and, you know, but he says no, or what he says is he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's doing. So he kind of talks to him again about it, and the orc agrees to give him a map of where this, you know, their village was and this red dragon is, because he's trying to find his sister still. So I thought it was cool how he, you know, finally was like, all right, I'll help you guys out. Because they're pretty, like, racist towards each other.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like each other.
No, like, even like, the orc and, like, Laos didn't really argue a lot. It was more Marcel, but, like, orcs don't like humans either, like we said. So it was nice to see, like, them, the orc, be like, all right, I'm gonna help you out. I think he saw that, like, Laos's, like, intentions are more pure than normal humans, because, like, the orc was surprised that Laos didn't have a plan, or didn't even think about this, defeating the red wizard for anything. He's like, oh, I don't know, I never really thought about that. But it does give something Laos to think about now, because it's something beyond, like, if he does save his sister, you know, there's more to this world than, or this, you know, this dungeon and all that stuff. So maybe that's another, like, inspiration to him. But, like, the only inspirations Laos has right now is eating food and saving his sister, or at least eating dungeon creatures and saving his sister.
But yeah, I mean, overall, another pretty solid episode. I laughed at it, and, like,
me too.
You know, had different emotions and shit. So I mean, it was cool.
I mean, Marcel made it up in the end with the orc. So I mean, they came to a close with their argument, and you do kind of find out what that 1% is for those golems, by the way.
It's poop.
And since she's going to the bathrooms to collect the poop to fertilize the golems, which, you know, Marcel freaked out about, but she handled it more. I think she realizes, like, manure is used even in real life to fertilize food. So I mean,
what's his name? Chilchuck mentions it. He's like, you know, that's how we do it up top too. Like, it's just inherently what you do.
Quiet episode for Chilchuck.
Yeah, not too much from him. It was mostly Marcella, and even Laos really didn't do nothing too much. Just a quick conversation, but that was about it.
Right. But yeah, no, good episode. Can't wait for episode 5 to come out.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy watching it every week.
Cool. Well, next week we'll have our review of episode 5. If you guys like this, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys also subscribe to see more of our anime content and more that we post on the Nova Circuit channel. Other than that, you guys have a good one, and we will see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Peace.